How to become a great person. You can find the answer in the following story. He was a renowned thinker, educator, and founder of the Confucian school in ancient China. He had 3,000 disciples, with 72 of them being distinguished ones. He led his disciples on journeys through various states for 14 years. He was also a scholar of ancient literature, having edited the poetry and book, defined the rites and music, and organized the two monumental works, I Ching, Book of Changes, and Spring and Autumn Annals. His name was Confucius, also known as the Sage Confucius. So, what were his life principles? 1. Passionate to the point of forgetting to eat, finding joy as a distraction from worries. At the age of 63, Confucius described himself as, so passionate that I forget to eat, so joyful that I forget my worries, not realizing old age is approaching. By that time, Confucius had led his disciples traveling through states for 9 years. Despite facing many hardships, not gaining employment by any lord, and even facing life-threatening situations, Confucius remained undeterred and optimistic, holding firm to his ideals even when he knew some might be unattainable. 2. Living modestly but holding on to principles. Confucius said, being unjustly rich and honored feels as insubstantial as a floating cloud to me. In his eyes, righteousness was the highest value in life. When faced with conflicts between wealth and morals, he would rather live in poverty than abandon his principles. But his philosophy shouldn't be mistaken as merely forsaking wealth for principles. History tells us otherwise. Confucius also said, wealth and honor are what people desire, but if I can't have them in a righteous way, I won't keep them. Poverty and disgrace are what people detest, but if I can't avoid them in a righteous way, I won't abandon them. If wealth is attainable, I would go for it, even if I have to be a charioteer. If it's not, I'll pursue what I love. 3. Ever learning and tireless in teaching. Confucius was known for his love of learning, showing deep interest in various subjects, making him a polymath and widely acknowledged in his time. He was often considered omniscient, but Confucius did not see himself that way, saying, I cannot be called a sage. I never tire of learning and never weary of teaching. He believed in learning from anyone who had knowledge, saying, in a group of 3, there must be a teacher for me. 4. Being kind to others. Confucius established a moral philosophy centered around benevolence. He himself was a very kind-hearted person, full of empathy, always willing to help others, and treating them with sincerity and generosity. Do not do unto others what you do not want done to yourself. A gentleman helps others achieve what is good, and does not help them achieve what is not good, and treat others generously but do not criticize them harshly, were among his principles. He said, at 15, I set my heart on learning, at 30, I took my stand, at 40, I was free of doubts, at 50, I understood the mandate of heaven, at 60, my ear was attuned, at 70, I followed my heart's desires without crossing the line. This was his reflection on his life's journey. He was upright, optimistic, proactive, always pursuing truth, goodness, and beauty, and striving for an ideal society throughout his life. Confucius's teachings and philosophies have influenced Chinese people, especially intellectuals, for thousands of years.